Hello and welcome to Perspectives. I'm smiling because people I have on the show tonight are going to make me smile. I think I'll introduce them first, then I'll do the opening because that'll probably be better. Mr. Chishty Mujahid, that's all I'm going to say. Nothing beyond that because you're just Chishty Mujahid.
I'm that bad.
I rest my case. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sohaib Alvi, who is again a cricket critic, an analyst, and write about cricket. Thank you very much. On phone from Dubai, Mr. Anwar Khan, who is also an ardent fan of cricket and a cricket critic. Anwar, thank you very much for joining us. What I would like to say in the opening, which I should have done before in introducing guests, is I grew up with hockey, squash, cricket. And the nation just, was the sports, these three sports drove the nation. It was a point of excitement, point of going to the matches and talking about games. And then, one by one, first we lost the AstroTurf, it disappeared. Hockey, even though it's a national game, I don't even know even if we play it anymore. Squash, we were the kings of squash. I don't know if anybody plays squash anymore in this country. There was a PIE squash complex, which I grew up in that vicinity. I went there the other day, and it's become something. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know if it's there anymore or not. And then cricket. That was the final frontier, which the nation gathered and collected for. Cricket was everywhere. Cricket was in our blood. Cricket was our lifeline. Even today, when it's a cricket match, I see this excitement in people. People are looking for it, but then very soon they start cussing and swearing about cricket. So I don't know what the excitement's about. For about a year and a half, and I used to take great offense, a lot of people, the upper class, the educated, stylish people on the internet started following football. And those two, like Manchester United, I don't even know what those names are. I'm not a sports person, I would like to confess here. And I used to say, what a wannabe attitude. What do we have to do with those clubs, club football? And now I realize because we don't have anything else to watch, so might as well watch club football. It's fashionable, it's got nice websites, it's kind of sexy and attractive and modern, so let's just do that. Question is, what happened to cricket? So, since I've introduced my guest, Mr. Mujahid, sir, on a serious note, which may be difficult, but for a few minutes.
For you it is. Yeah.
For both of us it is.
May I just first greet the ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening. And may I say how happy I am to have Sohaib here, because he can share this with you, and I can sort of sit back and hear.
The feeling's mutual, because Chishty Saab is somebody that I grew up listening to hard and high. Wasn't that?
That is great, but do not put the onus on me of running the show. Or Anwar for that matter, because I know nothing about cricket. Sir, what's happened to cricket?
Nothing. I mean,
we are, starting off the show. First of all, I can't hear Mujahid Saab, nor can I hear Sohaib. And Sohaib, what I heard a little bit, yes, absolutely right. For me to be on the same show as Mr. Mujahid, it's like Ifti and Chishty Mujahid, commentating, and we were kids, and that was amazing, hard and high, absolutely right. But Sohaib, let me just add one more line. I grew up reading you in the Cricketer magazine, and one article which I'll never forget was Mystical, Magical, Super Grace on Margin.
Yeah.
And
that was my claim to fame.
Okay, coming to my question. Okay, Anwar, stay with me. Coming to my question, Mr. Mujahid, what happened to our cricket? Why aren't we winning, and why aren't we creating heroes in cricket anymore?
You win some, you lose some. I mean, at the moment we are going through a bad patch.
For how long will we go through the bad patch?
Another 5 years.
And how long have you been going through the bad patch?
Well, about 5 years. You asked a silly question, you get a silly answer.
But it's a very straight answer. Why aren't we doing better? What's gone wrong with us?
No, I think, every team and every group, every game probably has a high and a low. And our lows, unfortunately, are more than our highs. That's the problem. I'll tell you something. Seriously speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's mismanagement. It's not the players that you have to blame at the moment. You start from the top. It's the Board of Control of Pakistan Cricket Board. Administrative mismanagement, marketing mismanagement, and you have a marketing expert besides a cricket expert here, and he can throw more light on that. Financial mismanagement, and then the operative mismanagement. If you just straighten that out, get a constitution in place properly, have it passed, implement it, and follow it in spirit and fact.
Then we'll be okay.
Then you have an organization chart. At the moment, you don't have one. You don't have job descriptions. You don't have key tasks. You don't have evaluations. You don't have appraisals. There is no accountability. So everyone's sort of going around in the different directions. There's a director general who doesn't know whom he reports to or who reports to him. There's no chief executive officer. There's a chief operating officer. Then you see, it should be completely streamlined. You should have an administrative side, a marketing side, a financial side, and a cricket side. And see how it works. Have a selection committee. You see, cricketers want to put cricketers everywhere. Now, I don't know about you, I can't become the finance manager of any company. I know nothing about finance. So if you are a cricketer and you are a manager and qualified, then good enough. But if you're not,
so we don't have experts doing
do
the
your
job.
cricket. Not professionals.
Not professionals.
You see, for example, they say a cricketer should be the head of the Pakistan Cricket Board. I beg to differ, and if you look around the world, probably at the moment there's nobody who's a cricketer. One of the best cricket administrators, whether you like it or not, is Jagmohan Dalmia. And I don't think he knows the difference like you between a cricket bat and a hockey stick. And the others are also that. They are sort of, Sir James Anderson was the head of New Zealand, and then there was David Morgan of the England and Wales Cricket Board. Anyway, but I speak too much. We must hear out either Anwar or Sohaib.
Anwar, in your opinion, and I know you did the show with me about 2 years ago, why have we lost our footing in cricket?
With all due respect to Chishty Sahab, obviously he's far more equipped in his views. But allow me to disagree with him a little bit. I think if you look at our game, the way we have played and we have managed, 92 was no different than what the management is today. The board was all over the place. Our supposedly the best captain in the cricketing history, the short or long history we have, Imran Khan, was picked up out of ad hocism because players rebelled. My theory is somewhat different, and perhaps I'm saying it because I'm sitting outside the country. I feel that the turning point for the game was the Lahore incident, where the Sri Lankans were attacked and the international cricket, so to speak, was stopped altogether. It's a gradual decline from there, and that's what I feel. I'm not advocating at the moment that we should allow international cricketers to play back home. I don't think that's possible because of various reasons, but that's the effect that is having it on the team. When we don't, you had a question, where are our heroes? Well, for heroes to come up, you need people to worship them. Then nobody is going to watch cricket in Pakistani stadiums because there's no cricket. So it's a gradual decline. As far as mismanagement or administration is concerned, Mujahid Sahab is correct. But in the history of the game that we've had, the rebellion against Kardar Sahab in 73 or 74, to the rebellion against Miyadar, and going on against Wasim and Waqar in New Zealand, we've always been like this. Plus, I keep saying to my friends and my associates, cricket and non-cricket ones, cricket team is a reflection of the country we have, of the people we produce, of the politics that we have. Why are these boys any different? So let's not just blame the 11 people or the 21 managing. It's a whole lot, a lot more to it than just simply a question of mismanagement.
Okay, what Anwar has just said.
I firmly got one last point. What I firmly believe, 2010 incident is a turning point in our game.
Okay, as said, it's a reflection of society. So I was going to ask, there was a time when cricket, and I had interviewed Mr. Mushtaq Mohammed at one point, and he said a few things which I could dare not repeat about this question. There was a time when all our sports people were heroes. Cricket was great, Zahir Abbas, the works, Majid Khan. But today, everyone's a bad boy. Is that a reason the game is being affected? Is that a reason we're losing trophies after trophies?
Well, in that sense, it comes to the chicken and egg story. Chishty Saab made a very valid point in my view. I've spent 25 years in the corporate world, in the top management, as well as Chishty Saab has been a CEO as well. You see, the culture starts from the top. Whatever is the personality of the CEO passes down to the organization. Whatever are his values, whatever are his objectives, that's the way the people below react. So, one, I totally agree, because I've been writing for years and years on the fact that, remember the poem, Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Sailor?
And Rich Man, Poor Man, Thief?
Yeah, and the John le Carre novel on it, Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. So the issue is, it goes far beyond. I mean, like, we've had generals in charge of cricket, we've had doctors in charge of cricket, we've had bureaucrats in charge of cricket. We've got everybody in charge of cricket except a professional manager. You see, everyone looks...
Not necessarily a cricketer, but a professional manager.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he's a cricketer, that's great. I mean, for that matter, Mark Taylor is on the board of Cricket Australia. And similarly, Matthew Hayden was invited about 3 years back when he retired. So the issue is, professionalism is not there, but that's a very late stage. You see, when you want to do anything, there are three very critical elements that I've learned in my life if you want to do it well. One is the intention. The second is the sincerity to what you're doing. And the third is the ability. The problem is, at the very first hurdle of intention, we have gone totally awry. Right? So the thing is, the intention of the people who come into the Pakistan Cricket Board is to make money. Simple. Period. If anyone wants to disagree with that, they're welcome. As far as I am concerned, that's it. Okay. Then there's the freebies, the allowances. Someone gets an $800 allowance. I mean, I used to travel the world at what, $50 an hour? $100 a day?
Cheap.
Yeah, but we worked harder. Absolutely, no, you're right. We were cheap, because the reason is we work for the passion. And I never ever worried about the TA or the DA. The fact is, people fall over each other as courtesans to get the eye of the king and the ear of the king, so that they can be in that particular position, make money. Now, if you go back, and as this Chishty Mujahid very clearly said, where is the accountability? Where is the performance appraisal? Let me tell you, I interviewed Shahryar Khan when he became the chairman. So I interviewed him for a newspaper. Two very interesting things. One in Karachi, one in Lahore. When I interviewed him in Karachi, I said, what is your right to become the chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board? You've been a bureaucrat and a prince before that for 40 years. He said, I saw Bradman bat 7 times while I was studying in England. I said, wow, that finishes it. The second time I interviewed him, marvelous person. I mean, really good person. The second time I interviewed him, I said, well, what are you doing? Because they had hired a university to put up all these performance appraisals and all. He said, whenever I have a problem, I go to my son-in-laws. He doesn't go to his chief operating officer. So you see, the thing is, the people who have come here, who have run the board, have come in as saviors. And then they've run their entire policy, philosophy according to them. And when the cricketers watch this, they say, why not us? If the chairman, if Mr. So-and-so and so-and-so is going to decide our fate, we'd better anchor with the one who's going to last longer. And then within the cricket team, when the 11 players gather, they say, okay, now I got to be friendly with this guy because he's got the nod. And whatever he says, I have to do.
It's the politics of state. I hear a lot of talk about bad selection, ad hocism, not giving leverage to people who should be there. You've started smiling already. But I'm going to ask you not the typical question. If I just laid it open to you, if you were the selector, what would be your team layout?
I will not accept the job.
You've been given a job.
No, you can't give it to me because I'm not competent to do it. I will not do a job which I'm not competent to do.
What's your wish?
If you give it to me, I will say you need your head examined.
I will have my head examined. But what's your wish? What's your team layout?
I think Anwar made a few valid points, as did Sohaib.
But you still have to answer my question.
I'll try my. I'm one of those who avoids answering.
And I'm one of those who doesn't let go.
I know. Let's see.
Let's see.
You probably invite me tomorrow.
It doesn't matter, but I will not let it go.
But you see what it is, that cricket, the entire fabric, has undergone changes. You know, I watched my first cricket match as a little fellow in New Delhi, 1952. That's 10 years before Sohaib was born, and I think you weren't even thought of. But anyway, so from that day to this, it's an entirely different. I've been with it for 44 years now, broadcasting, writing, whatever it is, and things, and talking to people who know about it. You see, at the moment, cricket at some time, some stage or the other, probably in the Packer era, in the 70s, and it started turning a new phase. Colored clothing, night cricket, white cricket balls, and these sort of things. Then it became an industry and was run as such. The income of the players, Sohaib is quite right that he worked for $50, so did I probably. But now nobody does that.
You work for 35 rupees.
No, that was here. This was because you weren't here to set the standards. But cricket now has changed. And then with all this has come the leagues, the bashes, it's an entirely different ball game. I mean, would you have ever heard, even Sohaib, would he ever have approved of a 20-20 match, leave alone a 50-50 match? India, in the first World Cup, and he will bear me out, Gavaskar played 60 overs to score 36 runs.
Not out.
Not out. Carried his bat. 1975. You must have been around at that time. Did he or did he not?
Yeah.
I said, what's wrong? Fateh Singh Ji Rao Gaikwad came here as the manager of the 1978-79 Indian team. And I got talking to him. I said, what's the problem? He says, we are protesting against instant cricket. We don't like this pajama cricket. In 1983, they were the champions. Kapil Dev was lifting the trophy at Lord's.
Can I add something here?
Yeah, sure.
Another thing is, the cricketers of the 60s and the 70s, first of all, it was a global culture of a quiet sporting world. You know, like even football was not a ruffian sport the way they used to tackle today. Unless we talk about Nobi Styles in the 1966 World Cup, who never got scared of having his glasses broken. So it was all a very slow-paced. You know, people would come home at 4 o'clock, 4:30. I wouldn't take 1 hour to get here to your program, right? So it was a very, very easy-paced game. So there was no real run for the money, all right? People were happy with what they had. The greed hadn't set in, right? The second part, as Chishty Sahib would say, himself, he's been at Cambridge. He would know Javed Barki, Oxford, Majid Khan, Cambridge, and even people who had not been to university, just been to Punjab University or college, government college, were refined people who played cricket for the love of it, and they had a source of earnings somewhere else. And they said, if I'm not fit for cricket tomorrow, no issues.
I would have to check. If somebody does professional cricket, he deserves to make a lot of bucks.
I'm just coming to that point.
He deserves to be a millionaire.
Yeah, just bear with me.
He's leading to that.
Yeah, just bear with me. Now, when the professionalism came in, Chishty Sahib would know, when New Zealand was here in December 1976, Mushtaq Mohammed asked for an increase of what? 50 rupees?
Something like that.
Something like that for a test match fee. Can you give us 50 rupees more? And Kadar Sahib said no, the late Kadar Sahib. And they said, well, we won't play. He said, don't play. I'll get a second 11. And there were 22 players on Hyderabad test on the morning of that match. So then the late Bhutto Sahib, intervened, and the extra 50 rupees were given. So, yes, that's where the money started. But the real problem is, and I'll be very quick about it, the cricketers don't have an alternative source of earning.
But why should they?
Just bear with me. The cricketers don't have an alternate source of earning if they are not selected. Alright? Cricket is the bread and butter. So what happens is, there are no jobs in PIA waiting once you retire and you're posted in Germany or you're posted in UK, right? For the cricketers. Now, what you have is what you have. They're not educated. You know, they come up at 14 or 15 years. So if they leave cricket...
I think that's the reason they're playing a mediocre game.
That's what I'm saying. So now there is so desperation to stay in the team. There is now so desperation. It's like you being in a job.
But I need to take a short break. And it is short, as I said. Which you have evaded my question.
No, I'll come back to it.
We have 82 minutes to go.
82.
So we will come to that question earlier. Anwar, I want to come to you.
I usually take 85 to get into it.
My point here is, I want to see sports in Pakistan to the level of the Beckhams and the Federers who gazillionaires. Make the money. Give us a game. Please make the money. Let's take a short break. We need to make money. Short break. With us watching Perspectives, Mr. Mujahid was taking me back to my dawn days, and we were talking about Aisha Alam and Naveen Naqvi.
The D-O-N?
No, well, I wish with the D-A-W-N.
He was the dawn of dawn.
Whenever
Before
Mr. Mujahid is on my show, we have this tussle. He refuses to cooperate. He will cooperate. Anwar, why do our sports people in general and cricketers in particular, what's wrong with them making mega bucks? Getting advertising, branding, but just give us a good game.
Okay, one question, and please pardon my ignorance. Is this program in English language?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, good. Now,
you feel better now, right?
Can I go back a little bit before we move on? You know, I got married in 1989, 1990, and my first son was born in 92. And we had a debate, and, you know, I won at the end, and I said, we'll name him Changez. And my theory was that Changez sounds better as running in as a fast bowler than in Abdul running in as a fast bowler from Lord's Pavilion end. Then 7 years later, my second son was born, and I named him Shirdal, because obviously if Changez is bowling on the Pavilion end, and Shirdal bowling from the nursery end, cannot be called Zulfikar, with all due respect to Zulfikar and Abdul's. The reality was, this is the so-called elite. I'll take the liberty of putting myself as the elite of the society. And by now, my boys end up playing PlayStation and Xboxes and never played cricket in their lives. And now they're, mashallah, grown up and doing well in their lives. And I'm happy for them, and I'm happy generally. The point is, cricket is now being played at a level where you do not find the educated sort who will want to bear the heat or run around or dive on the mud grounds that we have across the nation. That's point number one. Point number two, Sohaib made a point that the cricket was being run by unprofessionals. I again tend to disagree with him somewhat. Our golden period was run by a gentleman by the name of Air Marshal Noor Khan. He comes from the armed forces. He was a PAF pilot, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, he ran cricket and hockey and squash. He found Jahangir Khan for that matter. So please let's not blame the institution. I think probably in my own mind, and all of you can agree to disagree, the best run institution as an institution are the armed forces. So, you know, let's not...
No, Anwar, I'd like to comment on that. You see, when I mean professionalism, I don't mean that he must have a degree from Harvard or Cambridge. You see, it's the approach.
With all due respect, there is no university in the world which
just bear with me.
How to manage cricket.
Just bear with me.
Go on.
When I say professional manager, Air Marshal Noor Khan ran during a time when even the armed forces were highly professional, one. Then he ran PIA, right? So he had the corporate experience. Third, that was the time when whatever the top man said would work. The players were subservient to the board, all right? When you come to 2013, just bear with me. When you come to 2013, and you got these millionaire players going around, and who know that if they don't play the next match, or if they retire, or if they drop from the team, they will never earn, other than from the investments. Alright? So when I say I love cricketers, I was one of those who wrote a lot that cricketers should earn money, they should be millionaires, they should be, you know, whatever, they should endorse brands, because I myself have been a brand marketing person. But the point I'm trying to say here is that if in the last 10, 12, 13 years, we were concentrating more on the last 13 years, otherwise professionalism was there in the 50s also. Justice Cornelius was the chairman of the head of Pakistan BCCP at the time. I'm not going that far back when I say there is a lack of professionalism. I'm talking about the last 15, 16 years where our cricket has been going down. 2003 World Cup, we lost in the first round. 2007.
That, you know, M. Marshal Nur Khan was a perfectly good candidate for it. And you said when the armed forces were also professional. I think they're ever more professional now.
No. You see, there is a difference.
No. I will not even get into that debate.
It's your debate.
No, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to size down any institution. When you say armed forces are professional, then what's one professional?
No. I'm saying, look, bear with me. I'm not saying in the area of the war.
But coming to cricket,
Yeah, but let me.
It doesn't matter if it's Nur Khan, if it's Chishty Mujahid, if it's Najm Sethi. Yeah. As long as the person is right for the job, that is all that I care about. And my point is the glamorizing of. I want to see every sport so I want Beckhams and the Federers in our sports, sir.
No, Federer is an individual player. Remember that.
Well, Beckham isn't.
Beckham isn't. We have a few Beckhams here as well.
Do we?
Yeah. I mean, you see, if they are your players.
But they don't have the bucks. I want them to have the money.
Who says they don't have the bucks?
No. I want them to make $50, $60 million in a sporting career.
In a country like ours.
Why not?
I mean, do you make that money?
I wish.
You wish.
But I'm not a cricketer.
No. So do they. Compared to the wage level, the standard of living here, our cricketers are extremely well paid. There's no. Do you know what the daily match fees is?
No.
375,000 rupees.
Which is nothing.
Is that your fee?
No, I wish.
I wish. So start playing cricket. No,
but somebody plays 40 days a year.
Hold on.
That's his whole life.
No, they don't play 40 days a year. They play much more.
80?
What Sohaib was saying, it's very valid. At one time, cricket used to be a sort of laid-back, jolly good show game. You know,
we have a lot of time to waste.
Yes, cucumber sandwiches and chocolate cake and tea. The Americans don't play cricket. The Germans don't play cricket because they don't understand tea breaks, lunch breaks, 5 days. What nonsense is this? And then in the end, it's a draw. They wanted quick cricket. They wanted not cricket, quick games. Soccer is universally popular. It is a economical game to play. You need a ball, kick it around in a field.
Sure.
That's it. What I'm saying is, internationally, throughout the world, universally, in every game, all the champions are coming at a younger age. Venus Williams,
sure.
Martina Hingis, 16-year-olds, Wimbledon champions.
They're done by 30.
They're done by 30. But by that time, they have earned their millions or billions. Federer also is now probably in his early 30s or just about that.
Sure.
And he's, another couple of years. What about that golfer? Golf used to be an old man's game. Now it's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Who's the champion?
And now the 13-year-old. 13-year-old from China.
And Justin Rose, because I've
all that's good, but why not my star?
That is why cricketers and other sportsmen are not educated. If you wait for a degree, and then you're into the degree, because it's cutthroat now.
Yeah.
In O levels, A levels, your BAs, your inters, how many A's did you get? None.
Barely got through school.
Yeah, that's just obvious.
Yeah.
That's absolutely obvious. Magar, these days, it's what? 10 A's, star A's, and all. So now it is becoming specialization. Either you play sport, no education, or you go and play. Nobody is a Braley who got a double first in philosophy at Cambridge and then a PhD and played cricket. He wasn't a very good cricketer, by the way. Yeah. He was a very good manager.
Yeah.
Read his book. And that's
the art of captaincy.
The other thing is now, our cricketers are very well paid. They are also endorsing. I mean, there are cold drinks, there are shampoo.
Good for them.
I am not saying don't.
That's what I'm saying.
But then why has the game suffered if everything is right?
The game has suffered because of what I said earlier, in my first opening.
You say management.
Management.
Yeah.
That's the whole issue.
Anwar, you talked about a bit of an elitist that people of a lower social background are not fit to play cricket? Is that what you were saying? I take offense to that. If that's what you were saying.
Playing cricket in our country.
Could you turn the volume up?
What Chishty is saying is that it's probably the same thing. There is a very interesting book out. I would recommend Sohaib and Chishty, both of you, to read if you have not read already. It's called Luck by E.D. Smith. And you will see how completely different the English cricket is now coming up. Their private schools, or the public schools, so to speak, are not producing cricketers. It's all the private, highly paid schools where the fees are very high. They are producing cricketers. 7 out of 11 are from expensive schools. So that theory of elite students cannot play cricket is kind of wrong in so far that we are looking at. But look, in my mind, what we can be here for the next 82 minutes and criticize what went wrong. Perhaps we should talk about what can be done right and where should we begin. Absolutely. And I would say begin at the grassroots level, reinstall the Kawasji League, get the old sponsors to come and install cricket in schools as a competition, lead that to the first class and produce your cricketers. South Africa was not playing cricket from 1969 till, I don't know, 1991 because of their apartheid policies. Guess what? Where are they right now? They're number 1 team in Test match cricket. Won in one day. They may not won the Champions Trophy and T20.
No, they were playing. They were playing.
Anwar. No. They were not playing international cricket, people.
Oh, but they were
not playing international cricket. They were full of international cricket.
No. Sohaib, you're wrong.
D.H. Robbins 11, please check up the 1980s. D.H. Robbins 11. The Wanderers.
Sohaib, there were very few tours of the Rebels.
No, I'm not talking about the country Rebels. I'm talking about the Wanderers that would go there in the 70s. I'm talking about the D.H. Robbins 11 that would go there.
That you may be right, but
South Africa kept up
how many countries are coming back to play with us? How many international 11s are coming back to play with us since 2010? None.
Yeah, but that's because the security situation has got nothing to do with cricket.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a combination of us not playing competitively in domestic cricket or in international teams coming here, and the fact that we are not putting enough emphasis on the grassroots level.
And Anwar, I'm really happy you said that. Allow me to intervene, please. You exactly hit the nail on the head, right? Now the issue is, who is going to do whatever you're saying has to be done, because I'm in agreement with you, Chishty Sahib is in agreement with you. Okay. You need a professional manager. You need someone with intention. You need someone with ability.
Let the three of us join hands and run the boat. I'm all for it. Why should Najam Sethi run it because he can?
No. Listen. We're going into things that we can't control. All I'm telling you is,
not up to us. Yeah. Anwar, good point. The point is, you just said that international teams are not playing against Pakistan. We took the match because you are in Dubai, so we took our home there for cricket, so that you can feel at home.
Even the ICC did that.
Even the ICC have done that. So next time, hopefully if we are in Dubai,
I still have 46 minutes. So my question: what's your team layout?
But I agree with Anwar there.
I'm sure you do.
But the only point is that Pakistanis are not isolated at the moment. Pakistan is isolated.
Sure,
we may not be playing cricket here. But these Johnnies, the Pakistani cricketers, whom you say are not doing justice to what they're earning, they are playing.
I did not say that. I said they're getting paid peanuts. They should be paid 100 times more.
They've played about 200 matches, just out of my hat. 200 matches, test matches, one-day internationals and 2020s outside Pakistan since 2009. All right, do you
agree with the team layout? How would you have it different?
What do you mean by team layout?
People on the team, because I keep hearing on television that selection is bad.
Oh, selection is bad because it is now time that you removed your players who are spent cartridges, bring in new blood, bring in the youngsters who've been performing well, and examples galore. There is a left-handed batsman called Haris Sohaib. Why don't you bring him in? There is the left-arm spinner Raza Hassan. There is Sohaib Maqsood. There is the wicketkeeper
Ramiz Raza Jr., who was taken on tour, never played.
There is Akbar Rahman, I'm told.
These are Hamad Azam. He did so well.
Where is Hamad?
He did so well in the Asia Cup.
Where are your under-19 players? You should take them in.
Basically, drop Shoaib Malik, drop Imran Farhat and drop Kamran Akwal, your team is okay.
I think that's what they're doing.
No, but I think the issue is broader. You see, I've read several books and seen several movies on this, that if you try to end corruption at a very low level, in corporate America, they say you're fighting a headless monster, alright? Because you can remove the executive who did the corruption for us, we replace him with another one, right? And if you want to go to the head, it's a headless monster. You see, the issue is, unless you clean up, you bring in a person who has the right intention, and let me take this opportunity to clarify. When I say professional army, I meant that they have become, army has become even more professional in terms of warfare. But the management side was better, in my view, that's my personal view, in the 70s and the 80s, alright, because of certain education levels.
I will.
So that's my viewpoint.
Because the army, which I have interacted with the army, with working with the general about 10 years ago. Very professional.
I will disagree. If you're giving that example of the general, and again, I don't know why the army is coming into it, because
you made the mistake of saying that the general.
I love the army.
Because you said the generals.
No, because the problem is, if there had been a brigadier as head of PCB, I would have said brigadiers, right? I also said bureaucrats. I also said doctors. Now, just bear with me.
I like them all.
Yeah,
my question is, I don't care what his career has been. My question is he fit for the job? Is he good? Just put him in.
That's what I'm saying.
Sohaib, just to ask you a question on that, and I'll just ask a small question. Which means that you disagree with the army, retired army generals?
No, hold on.
I haven't said ask the question. Retired army generals or air marshals or naval chiefs
or ex-bureaucrats
as head of corporate bodies like WAPDA, like the Electricity Corporation, like the ports.
I'll tell you what. If, just as you mentioned, if a cricketer is qualified with an MBA degree as well, he should be head of the cricket board.
MBA degree matters.
No. Oh, I just gave it as an example. Otherwise, people will say, well, what would they be qualified at? Likewise, whether it's a doctor, whether it's an army person, whether it's an engineer, as long as he has had a grooming over the years in an organization for listening and for back and forth discussion, I don't care if he's an army guy, I don't care if he's a doctor. Right? He'll run the organization very well.
I think everyone who's gone through 40 years or 30 years of a career in any organization has a capability, but I think is he fit for the job or not?
That's the point.
Yes. You see, that's my only question.
What history?
That's exactly the point I'm making.
Career, what it has been, what type of a career has he had, and I might add that those days are gone when that the army did not educate, or the forces did not educate their people. Now at every level, as soon as you're promoted, I'm told they're educated as well.
I think that's always been the case.
But again,
I have seen armed forces people,
you played it well.
Very good writers, very good speakers.
Cricket, closing notes, you played it well. You've not answered all my questions.
No, I've just answered it that, in fact, Anwar agreed with me that you drop a few players and get in new ones. What will happen? Are you scared of losing? But you've been losing anyway for the last 2 or 3 years, so it can't be worse.
And I'll come to you in just 1 second for closing notes, please.
Get in the new ones. That's it. And I've just told you.
Okay.
And I was asking Sohaib's help to find a few other youngsters and get the old fellows. No reverse gears, no revolving doors.
We got to move forward.
You're out.
Anwar, closing notes. Any comments?
I work as a banker and I sell investments to people and give advice. In my experience of 20 odd years, people have short-term memories. And therefore, the strategy should be of short-term and ad hocism, because that works best for the country. Case in point, Noor Khan, when he created the best captain we had was Imran Khan. So just drop the 3 players, win the West Indies series. The world will be the best ever world we ever seen.
Very quickly, you said it. You see, a person may be hugely competent, but is he fit for the job? Just ask me, if you were to apply for, say, the bureaucracy today, would Shahryar Khan appoint you as a deputy secretary? Would he appoint you as an additional secretary? Would he appoint you as a foreign secretary? He said, no, come with a relevant experience. If you walk into the army, they said, we love you, you're great, start as a lieutenant so that you know the chain of command. The same thing is with cricket. The same thing is with sports management. Players should make money because they entertain and they have skills. All right. But the problem is we put in tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, at the top because they have to be accommodated and because certain players have to be accommodated through them. Now, absolutely, I think it's a no-brainer. I said it before the Champions Trophy. I said it in 2011, Hafiz, Shoaib Malik, Imran Farah, these are not the guys. They're very good people, play them in the test matches. Don't ask someone with a technical deficiency to open who's got a test match, who's got an international average of 12 as a batsman if you take away Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. Shoaib Malik had an average of 19 over the last 2 years. And you're putting them in specialist positions. He never even bowled. So who does this? The power. Now, for example, very quickly, in one of the programs, someone asked me about the chief selector. I said, it's Iqbal Qasim. But effectively, it is the chairman of the board. Because the chief selector and the selectors select a side and then they send it for approval to the chairman. And the chairman says, not this player, that player doesn't go. So, a professional manager would say, fine, these are the one player out of 300 who's out for disciplinary reasons. Don't select him. Make a team, send it.
Thank you, all of you. You're very kind. Mr. Mujahid.
And I did answer your question.
You did not. Mr. Alvi, thank you very much for coming. Chishty Saab and I have
Anwar, wonderful talking with you as well.
Nice talking to you, Chishty Saab.
Oh, lovely.
Just my quick closing note. I'm not a cricket expert. I actually know nothing about the game. I know nothing about hockey. I know nothing about squash. I don't know anything about any game. All these names they took, all these references they gave, I have no idea. But I just know one thing. I want a good game. I want entertainment. I want players who are smart, who give us a good game, who give us pride, and I want them to make mega bucks in return. I want my singers to make big bucks. I want my players to make I want people to make money and give a solid, good input. Don't give them, don't play cheap with them. Like Alvi repeatedly said, this is their only bread and butter, and once they retire, they have nothing, so they need to accumulate as much cash as they can, by hook or by crook. Give them so much money that they don't have to worry about their retirements. They play 10 years, they play a good game, they retire, live happily ever after, and we have heroes. That's my philosophy. Maybe none of you agree, but that's what I want to see. Good night.